All right, guys, Jack's Bounty Week 4. There's actually an extra objective, this time to get a extra elite bounty. So that's really fun. The first path here is the Mystic Path. We're going to use Science Champions. You are going to want to make sure to watch out for some unblockable, and you want to make sure you have someone that could potentially help you with the healing on Absorbing Man and a poison immune for Man Thing. So I'm going to go in with Spider Ham against Werewolf by Night here. And again, I'm using strong champions here. You could slow play it with lower level champions, but the main thing here is just to worry about the unblockable. So every 10 hits, they're going to get an unblockable. You got to watch out for that. And then other than that, it's not that bad. Against Absorbing Man, I used Void and intentionally did not prevent his healing, because you can counter his heavy and reverse and counter his healing. Instead, I used Void, and we took advantage of the heal reversal. So I'll show you that in a second. But here, I'm just playing aggressive against Werewolf because I don't want him to howl and get some extra. I don't want him to get the extra unblockable. I don't want him to get the unstoppable. So I'm just playing really aggressive. Get my and Spider Ham wrecks him pretty quickly. So like I was saying, for this Absorbing Man, I used Void. But normally when Absorbing Man uses a special, you can counter with a heavy to take him out of his the mode that he's in. And if he's in Uru or in Magma form, you can remove the form by countering a special with a heavy attack. And I might do that early on here. I think he throws a special and I go ahead and I counter with the heavy. It deactivates it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put on my intimidating debuffs. And there's nothing on the node. I'm used to Alliance War where you can't reverse healing. Here, you can reverse the healing. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to counter the for example, I'm not going to counter that special too, and I'm just going to keep letting him throw his specials, and then you're just going to see some big red numbers all over him on the right hand side here, and he is just going to melt, because every time he throws that special, he gets the regen, but we are reversing it. So I'm going to throw a combo into a striker, another combo, and just let him destroy himself. There we get the Petrify in Fear of the Void. He is absolutely melting, and Void destroys him. So that's a great option there. And then I brought in Scorpion and put him in the Rupture phase so that I get the poison immunity and we're able to take down Man Thing. So while we do this, another reminder for the bounties. If you saw my warning video, it was correct that I put out the other week, where every week I held on to my bounties so that I could do them right away, and I got all my elite bounties quickly. So now I've done all 4 of my elite bounties. The only one I have left to do is going to be in a couple days when I'm able to do the 3rd path on one account. You can't actually do all 3 paths yet. The only reason I can do 3 paths for you is because I have 2 accounts. But when you do that, you can get a 5th elite bounty, and now that there's no other objectives that need the bounty missions, so you can actually just go in and finish all your regular bounties and just grab the rewards. You can take the easiest fight that you want from each bounty. At this point, if you were collecting profile pictures, great. You really, there was no difference to who you chose every single time. You could pick the easiest one every single time. The only thing you were ever, missing out on was a profile pick. So nothing too crazy there. And now you can do all your bounty missions. So that's a little PSA for the bounties. So that's path number 1. Path number 2, we went up the middle. Here, it's going to be Power Shield is the main thing. I would say Absorbing Man is a really awesome counter for Annihilus, and he actually works extremely well with the node. Like, the Power Shield ramps up a ton. So he is excellent for this. I did try America Chavez. And I did use Wiccan, I think, for Adam Warlock, and Chavez as well. for the Airwalker fight. So again, nothing too crazy on this one. Bring in your strong Mystic champions. You're doing a ton of damage on it because of Power Shield. There is a cowardice buff that debuff that gets put on you if you intercept it. You get rid of it, but it doesn't really. I didn't feel like it did too much here, but for the most part, it's just go ahead and bring in your strong Mystics. But again, Absorbing Man for Annihilus is going to help a lot. So I'm going to let the music play out for the Airwalker and Adam Warlock fights. They went really pretty well with Chavez and Wiccan, and then I'll let you know what I did on the third path. All right, guys, this skill path here is probably the most annoying one because of Power Snack and Pass the Buck and I Am Root. So you're dealing with Power Stings, Rooted while they throw specials, and Power Snack. So Power Snack, the way to get around that is either Buff Immune or Power Control, or actually I use the Hulkbuster synergy with Hulk to make him immune to Nullify. So I don't have to worry about it here. So I can just go ahead and against Kate, I can't parry. So I'm just going to bait heavies and bait specials. And her special one is pretty easy to evade while rooted. So that one is actually not so bad. You can see there I went for the intercept to pass the Power Sting from me onto Kate. So then she takes some damage when she throws the special. And also I can't throw a special unless I go ahead and intercept or wait for the Power Sting to fall off. So there I'm going to go ahead and intercept, then a big special to there. So there are a couple different ways. You could go the Power Control route. You could go the Buff Immune route. But Buff Immunes are typically your science class, so it's going to be class disadvantage. So it's a little interesting here on what you can choose to do. Kate wasn't too bad. Elsa, again, I tried out Titania here as a Buff Immune champion. Worked out fine, but evading Titania's special one while rooted it works. It can be a little annoying sometimes. So we did get through this one, and then Silver Sable, I went back to Hulk again, and I just didn't really know Silver Sable's specials well enough, and I think I get clipped a little bit while rooted. Nothing too crazy. You can just block it. It's not unblockable, so you can just go ahead and block it if you're, or at least practice. The timing there is not that bad. But it worked out fine for me here. But again, power control can also help you out. And this path here has, again, the 33,000 Mysterium. So go ahead and dump all your Mysterium in the Trader's Outpost before you do this path, because it's only 50k max, which means you have to have, and there's like 33,750, I think, you get from the rewards. So you need to be below 17,000. I think I was at 17,000 here, and I either lost out on the 750 Mysterium, or I can't remember if I went in and dumped, a little bit more Mysterium to they'll go ahead and grab the reward. So just be aware of that as another PSA to watch out for your Mysterium when you're doing this one. But that's it for the 3 paths here. Hopefully got some tips in. If you had some champions that worked really well for some of the paths, always let everyone know down in the comments. It always helps everyone out as a community. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great one. Bye-bye.